Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram Om. Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram Om.
Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram Om. Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram Om.
Hari Om, Hari Om, Hari Om, Om Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. As shared yesterday, today we thought we would read a few portions from Gandhiji's writings on Ram Nam. What is the mark of him who has Rama enthroned in his heart? If we do not know this, there is a danger of Ramnam being much misinterpreted. Some misinterpretation is already in existence. Many sport rosaries and put the sacred mark on the forehead and vainly babble his name. It may well be asked whether I am not adding to the current hypocrisy by continued insistence on Ramnam. I must not be deterred by such forebodings. Silence thus brought about is harmful. The living voice of silence needs to be backed by prolonged, heartfelt practice. In the absence of such natural silence, we must try to know the marks of him who has Rama in his heart. A devotee of Rama may be said to be the same as the Sthita Prajna of the Gita. If one goes a little deeper, it will be seen that a true devotee of God faithfully obeys the 5 elemental forces of nature. If he so obeys, he will not fall ill. If perchance he does, he will cure himself with the aid of the elements. It is not for the dweller in the body to get the body cured anyhow. He who believes that he is nothing but body will naturally wander to the ends of earth in order to cure the body of its ills. But he who realizes that the soul is something apart from, though in the body, that it is imperishable in contrast to the perishable body, will not be perturbed nor mourn if the elements fail. On the contrary, he will welcome death as a friend. He will become his own healer instead of seeking for medical men. He will live in the consciousness of the soul within and look to the care, first, last, of the indweller. Such a man will take God's name with every breath. His Rama will be awake even while the body is asleep. Rama will always be with him in whatever he does. The real death for such a devoted man will be the loss of the sacred companionship. Such a man will take God's name with every breath. His Rama will be awake even while the body is asleep. Rama will always be with him in whatever he does. The real death for such a devoted man will be the loss of the sacred companionship. The question was raised to Mahatma Ji. You have often said that while you talk of Rama, you refer to the ruler of the universe and not of Rama, the son of Dasharatha. But we find that your Ramdhun calls on Sita Rama or Raja Rama, and it ends with victory to Rama, the Lord of Sita. Who is this Rama, if not the son of the king Dasharatha? Gandhiji, I have answered such questions before, but there is something new in this one. It demands a reply. In Ramdhun, Rajaram and Sitaram are undoubtedly repeated. Is not this Rama the same as the son of Dasharatha? Tulsidas has answered this question, but let me put down my own view. More potent than Rama is the name. Hindu Dharma is like a boundless ocean, teeming with priceless gems. The deeper you dive, the more treasures you find. In Hindu religion, God is known by various names. Thousands of people look doubtless upon Rama and Krishna as historical figures and literally believe that God came down in person on earth in the form of Rama, the son of Dasharatha, and by worshipping him, one can attain salvation. The same thing holds good for Krishna. History, imagination, and truth have got so inextricably mixed up, it is next to impossible to disentangle them. I have accepted all the names and forms attributed to God as symbols connoting one formless, omnipresent Rama. To me, therefore, Rama, described as the Lord of Sita, the son of Dasharatha, is the all-powerful essence whose name, inscribed in the heart, removes all suffering, mental, moral, physical. I have already explained what I mean by all. It applies to all those who can join it from the heart and recite it in tune. The others should remain silent. But this is a small matter. The important question is as to how Rama, the son of Dasharatha, can be deemed immortal. This question was raised by Saint Tulsidas himself and answered by him. The answer cannot in reality be reasoned out. It does not lend itself to intellectual satisfaction. It is a matter of heart speaking to heart. I worshipped Rama as Sita's husband in the first instance, but as my knowledge and experience of him grew, my Rama became immortal and omnipresent. This does not mean that Rama ceased to be Sita's husband, but the meaning of Sita's husband expanded with the vision of Rama. This is how the world evolves. Rama cannot become omnipresent for the man who regards him merely as the son of Dasharatha, but for the believer in Rama as God. The father of the omnipresent Rama also becomes omnipresent the Father and the Son become one. It may be said that this is all a matter of imagination. To each man according to his faith is all that I can say. Experience shows that man can do so at any time, even in sleep, provided, and the question was, while in conversation or doing brain work, or when one is suddenly worried, can one recite Ram Nama in one's heart? Do people do so at such times, and if so, how? I am in distress, I am in tense, will I be able to chant Ram? Because the mind is full of that particular situation, worries, subject. Gandhiji says, experience shows that man can do so at any time, even in sleep, provided Ram Nam is enshrined in his heart. If the taking of the name has become a habit, in recitation through the heart becomes as natural as the heartbeat. Otherwise, Ram Nama is a mere mechanical performance, or at best has touched the heart only on the surface. When Ram Nam has established his dominion over the heart, the question of vocal recitation does not arise. That means even when we are not chanting, the chanting should be going on. Even when we are not chanting vocally, the chanting should be going on. Our practice should be such that it should go on, whether we do it vocally or not. That is why he said it's above the heart. Because then it transcends speech. But it may well be held that persons who have attained this state are few and far between. There is no doubt whatsoever that Ram Nam contains all the power that is attributed to it. No one can by mere wishing enshrine Ram Nam in his heart. Untiring effort is required, as also patience. What an amount of labor and patience have been lavished by men to acquire the non-existent philosopher's stone. Surely God's name is of infinite richer value and always existent. Whatever the exigencies of service or adverse circumstances, Ram Nam must not cease. The absence of the rosary does not interrupt Ram Nam, which has found an abiding place in the heart. To install Ram Nam in the heart required infinite patience. It might even take ages, but the effort was worthwhile. Even so, success depended solely on the grace of God. Ram Nam could not come from the heart unless one had cultivated the virtue of truth, honesty, purity within and without. Every day at the evening prayers, they repeated the shlokas describing the man with a steadfast intellect. That is from the 2nd chapter of Srimad Bhagavad Gita. If he kept his senses under discipline, ate and drank and allowed himself enjoyment and recreation only to sustain life or service, if one had no control over one's thoughts, if one did not mind, for instance, sleeping in a hole of a room with all doors and windows shut and breathing foul air and drinking dirty water, his recitation of Ram Nam was in vain. That, however, did not mean that one should not give up reciting Ram Nam on the ground that one had not the requisite purity. Because recitation of Ram Nam was also a means of acquiring purity. In the case of a man who repeats Ram Nam from the heart, discipline and self-control will become easy. Observance of the rules of health and hygiene will run an even course. He will never want to hurt anyone. To suffer in order to relieve others' suffering will become a part of his being and fill him with an ineffable perennial joy. Let them therefore persevere and ceaselessly repeat Ram Nam during all their waking hours. Ultimately it would remain with them even during their sleep, and God's grace would then fill them with perfect health of body, mind and spirit. I believe there is special merit in the recitation of Ram Nam. If anyone knows that God is in truth residing in his heart, I admit that for him there is no need for recitation. But I have not known such a person. On the contrary, my personal experience tells me that there is something quite extraordinary in the recitation of Ram Nam. Why or how is not necessary to know. These are the proven people of this century, last century. Papa and Mahatma Ji. So they were able to do it. We don't know how to do it. We have faith in their words. But now, when we connect ourselves with the rest of the creation, it is all for remembering Him throughout. Simple thing. So this is the background. Today we thought instead of taking up a new subject from Papa's, I find him everywhere. There are plenty, we will take it up later. Today we will have a quick recap. Anybody remembers anything, may kindly express it in the, what is it called, chat, live chat. We will just read a few lines. The long association with Ananda Ashram and the teachings of saints, Papa Swami Ramdas, Mataji, have helped devotees to form certain concept of God, Guru and spirituality. During the time of chanting or bhajan or satsang or going through the works, devotees feel an inexplicable, pleasant feeling closer to the sankalpa they had formed. Otherwise they may not be doing it. But on coming out from those activities, the said experience does not seem to remain with them, and the God dimension does not get widened or deepened to anything they observe or involve, and they are sooner than later back to square one, their old self. In other words, there is absolutely no change to the person's previous attitude towards situations, persons, objects. How can we get over this hurdle is the challenge. There could be so many options, methods, choices. One step could be to fix our goal, to become aware of the only reality, which is often expressed by Papa as indwelling and all-pervading reality. So we must chant. There is no exception. And slowly develop concentration and meditation, leading to stillness of thoughts. This is a must. Early morning or evening or whenever is possible, some time has to be allocated for that, and we must do. And then, during the non-chanting time, we also try to develop a new relationship with the objects, the persons, the situations. Previously, it was altogether, it was viewed from the individual standpoint. Now a different standpoint. A new relationship with our objects, persons, situations. Ultimately, it will lead to the God dimension. Because Papa's that word, we have the magnificent book of nature spread out before us, a picture of unsurpassing beauty and charm. And what is that? What do you see about it? The spontaneous, blissful self-expression of the indwelling God. Let us look at it, read in it the blissful, glorious presentation and the varied activity of the beloved. Look on the infinite play of the Infinite One, and by deep absorption into the beloved, that is the new relationship. Not merely the object, not merely the person, not merely the situation. We are intensely praying. We would not have reached, doesn't matter. But he says, by deep absorption into the beloved. Look, enjoy immortal joy. So along with whatever spiritual discipline we do, simultaneously efforts are to be made to realize the God dimension in everything outside. We are praying, there should not be any disconnect. So many years we have been doing this. The time has now come where we pine, we pray, we cry, we appeal, for please don't make me to get disconnected from you. So that is why Papa wrote, from the platform, my God is everywhere. And in everything, He alone is, there is none but He. And Lord Krishna has brought out various slokas in Srimad Bhagavad Gita. Once in a way when we read this, that also will help us. Bahirandasya bhutanam acharam charamevaja sushmatva tat avijneyam durastam chantike cha tat. He exists outside, inside, in all living beings. Those that are moving and not moving. He is subtle, hence He is incomprehensible. He is very far, but He is also very near. Yavat sanjayade kinjid sattvam stavara jangamam kshetra kshetratnya samyogat tadvitti paradarshava. O best of Bharadas, whatever moving or unmoving being you see in existence, know it to be a combination of the field of activities and the knower of the field. Samam sarveshu bhudeshu tishtandam parameshwaram vinasya avinashyantam ya pashyati sa pashyati. They alone truly see, who perceive the Paramatma accompanying the soul in all beings, and who understand both to be imperishable in this perishable body. Mean when we say Papa? First is Swami Ramdas. Second is what? The core of his being. Does anybody remember anything? It's about 4 weeks now. I want proof. He says, through mere superficial churning of the intellect, Ramdas's words cannot be understood. You can throw light on them only when you bring with you the blazing torch of your own experience. Experience is gained by diving into the depth of your mind. Mere assertion of the truth is not realization. Realization means direct perception and experience. Like that, so many things. He gave importance for reflection and contemplation. Anybody remembers? I am talking about now the In Search of Papa. Satish Kama says, there is no disorder in this world. Everything is as it should be. Good. Anything else? Sarvavyapi. Blending of jnana, bhakti and karma. Any quotation of Papa, even in split words, we will read out. That may touch. God does not need an intermediary. If you think God can talk through Ramdas, He can talk through you as well. Because you cannot accuse God of partiality. Switch on your wire for direct communication. Why do you deny Him in your heart? It's a very powerful statement. Papa Madaji is everywhere, God is everywhere, you are everywhere. Just like that, this is enough. 1 or 2, 1 or 2, 1 or 2. It will have its own impact.
The word is His food.
Because when he says, God does not need an intermediary, we feel we are with Him. Otherwise we thought, we have to pray, we have to ask Mahatma to pray for us. But suddenly the Mahatma says, don't have any need for an intermediary.
The word is His food, in which the experiences and observance gives us immense experiences.
Yeah. Everywhere. We do not search Papa in Anandashram, everywhere and everything. Incense stick and the soap, self becomes hero. The world you see is a book, read it. He sees inside. Prayers can be done to him inside. Need not imitate anyone. Self-reliance. Good. Tomorrow we will again go through, so by that time we will bring something more. So that was I think 3 or 4 day session in search of Papa. So many of his words, powerful words. When we keep on reflecting, it becomes stamped on our heart. Slowly it will percolate. The resistance will be there from the mind, but slowly it will percolate and then becomes one with it. So from in search of Papa, we moved to prayers composed by Mahatmas, including Papa. Any prayer, you remember, starting with spiritually should go hand in hand with worldly matters, yes. Be reflective and meditative, yes. Prayer now. Any prayer.
Adorable presence.
Yeah. Let us see whether they are. Yes, let us see whether they are bringing it. Any prayer, adorable presence. We spend a lot of time on that. Adorable presence. A prayer with heart and no words is better than a prayer with words and without heart. Good. Good, Gandhiji's words. And then, in this adorable presence, and later on in Thy Glory, an effort was made, or it motivated us to see how God is functioning in our body. Dr. Bhujanga Shetty's first chapter. How the breathing is going on, how the blood circulation is going on, how the digestion is going on. Thy presence, adorable presence. Adorable presence. He is there always. We spend on Thy glory. I can see you because it's by Thy glory. Prayer helps us to feel His nearness, one-to-one relationship with God. Chanting Ramnam itself is prayer. Don't expect even Papa's word. Papa said, what your inner voice says, that is important. Oh, bless me so that I may carry on your work only as an instrument in your hand. Superb, I should say. Oh Lord, I have nothing to ask of you. Prabhu Vishwanatha, pray to God for what all He has given, not asking anything from Him, being grateful for what all He has given already. Universal prayer. There, two things are there. One is the first line that answers everything. We never knew that. O Creator, Protector, Destroyer of the world. We have not applied our mind so far on the word destroyer, because we want only protection, we want only this. But now we know with the corona, and then like corona, so many things are happening in our life, in everybody's life. So the destruction is going on, construction is going on, it is concomitant. We should not get upset by this. So He is Creator, not only Creator, Protector, not only Protector, He is also Destroyer of the world. And the second line, I come in all humility to Thy holy feet and surrender myself entirely to Thee. Suddenly we come to realize that it is not a truth. We don't go to Him with all humility. We have not surrendered anything to Him. Though we would like to, we have kept everything ready, Chavi is still there, but still we have not handed over. So when we say that, we are reminded. When we pray to Him, why are you making us to say untruth? Then God says, I am not asking you to say untruth. By telling you to make the truth, by making you to assert the final goal, I want you to slowly move towards that. Who have been praying for 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, 30 years, 40 years, that I come in all humility to Thy holy feet and surrender. I have not surrendered. I must make it. I must make a move. That is the tangible gain of repeating those words with this bhavana. Same thing, universal prayer, I came in all humility. The world we live in is a school. Good. Then Papa is so devoted. He is always optimistic. Even during his All India tour, extremely uncomfortable, he always very. Joy and peace is inherent in us. Love and serve all is the true worship of God. All is done by the will of God and for our ultimate best. Since everything is God's creation, no one is insignificant, nothing is unimportant, nothing is irrelevant. We are, if just to take Ram Nam with devotion and follow a few sayings, then also it takes up in this direction. 3-in-1 approach. So many dimensions under the category of prayer. Very good.
But in part, cause and effect
that will come.
It can't come under prayer.
No, it will come. Then the next one, from prayer, if we remember right, next day when we came, we were talking about dictionary. Remember? On that morning, we had to see what is the literal meaning of stupendous. Suddenly, the prompting comes from, hey, you are looking at a dictionary. Think about dictionary. What all came out? So many people have written about this, love towards human, towards universe, finally with God. Continuous chanting Ramna mentally is better. Story of 15 soldiers, tea in shackles. Lakshmi Narayan, Akshara, sound from Akshara. So dictionary. Dictionary, when we open, we find words. Words come out from letters. Letters are called Akshara in Malayalam. Akshara means that which is imperishable. It is not subject to wear and tear. That slowly led us to combination of letters called words, combination of words called sentence. All these things are required for language. Language is the communication between creations. So many things are in. And Lord says in the Bhagavad Gita, Aksharanam Akarosmi. So God is there in the form of Akshara. Morning when we get up till we retire to bed, we are either talking or doing or thinking. In all these, the Akshara, the language plays a very, very vital role. So He is with me throughout in the form of Akshara. Anything else? Then came Nada Brahma. Nada Brahma. Because Papa says that the sound is the first expression of the motionless. So through the sound we try to become aware of our source. Vaishnava Janata also we, even prayer, is full of words. Just imagine the importance of words, letters in our life. How that Akshara has become so close to us. We cannot live. Even if we want to live, we cannot live. Even if we are not talking, even if we are not reading. Suppose we are hearing Papa's words, how are we initiated into the nameless, formless aspect called God? How are we thinking? Even Ram Nam comes through us through words. Just imagine. If we get clarity on that, it will be with us throughout. And he made us to look at the dictionary, and from there, and then we find, what all he did. It is letters first, then words, from words to sentence, then he ensured that it becomes universal, so grammar he brought in. Phrases, idioms, prepositions, dictums, modulations. It is not merely a word. Two words joined together. I hope we were sharing in Quest of God, in the outpourings. Papa used the word nothings. N-O-T-H-I-N-G-S. We have heard about nothing. We have not heard about nothings. We thought it could be a typographical error. But again the mind says, Papa will not commit any such error. So then we went to the dictionary again. And there is a word called nothings. It is an expression of the lover and the loved. So what an intrinsic, inherent idea is there in a word. Just imagine. Gandhiji also does like that. When we were reading, one word we happened to, we did not know how to translate this. Then we went to the Google Baba, then searched that it was a word from a poem, Tennyson's poem, and then when we went through that, so much of richness is pregnant in every word. So kindly think more about it, because it is with us throughout, whether we want it or not. Right from the moment you get up, first you get a thought, and thought is conveyed through letters. You analyze. You say paste, immediately P-A-S-T-E, paste. Brush, wash basin, switch on, switch off, light. So much is with us till we retire to bed. Then whether it is right or wrong, our interpretation is that is Akshara. It is with us whether we know it or not. It is available to everybody. It is not reserved to anybody. Only condition is, we hope all remember, dictionary will not ask us to go. If we want, we have to go there and find out. God is there in all of us. He will not come and say, I will reveal. We must go and ask Him, please reveal. That also very, very important. Then came Nada Brahma. Sound is the first expression. The whole creation started with the sound, meaning vibration. So sound when we go, we were made, again everything vibrates. Even the so-called inert, insentient matter is always under vibration. So God's presence is felt in the form of vibration. and sound is the vibration. That is why it's called Nada Brahma. Every relationship, everything depends upon that. Not only the sound of human being. We remembered at that time Bhujanga Shetty's one quotation. You remember? Must see him sleeping in the fountains, singing through the birds.
Smiling through flowers.
Smiling in flowers, up and awake in man. You must see him as a screensaver. By default, we must see him, no? So that means he is with us everywhere. Sound, sound, sound. Any sound. Sound is based with the soundlessness. We understand soundlessness through sound only. Though it is the reverse truth, we understand the silence only through. When there is so much of sound, what do we say? Silence, please. That is also a sound, you know. Think. Nada Brahma. Kindly start thinking. The third one, again, breathing. So, in search of Papa, prayer, words, Nada Brahmam, and then we came to breathing. Every being breathes. God is seated within. Thank God for a new day. When we get up and thank God for complete a beautiful day while going to bed. Okay. Man with man, man with nature, man with God. Integration. Integration with man. Papa's words at the time of launching the vision, he had written this. The ideal of vision is to see the oneness of man with the universe, man with God. God is talking to us in so many forms, inner voice as well as outer voice. And sound is the communication channel. Chirping of the birds. When the wind blows, there is a sound produced by it. So many animals have so many. So many birds have so many. Think about that. Nada Brahma. You might get more clues. Never leave it. Then we came to breathing. Breathing is the support, base for everything, you know. If the breathing stops, we know we will not be sitting here. Breathing led us to the 5 pranas also. The gateway to life is breathing. Our nostrils and our mouth. If that is plugged, the individual will not be there. So the all-pervading reality, in order to function as an individual, enters through breathing and then the vibrates every department there. Elaborately we discussed about the 72,000 nadis and the 200 odd organs and the different functioning that is going on in this beautifully well coordinated, but everything is linked to this breathing. Everything. The Panchaprana takes over, different departments. By remembering all these, by remembering breathing as a form of God, we become grateful to Him. Whether I am chanting Ram Nam or not, you are with me now in the form of breathing. Whether I am doing puja, whether I am doing the traditional work, you are with me. In total disregard to the fact whether I recognize you or not. And these are all the things which are all impersonal. Akshara is personal, no doubt. The rest of things are impersonal. Soundlessness in between sound. He should bless us, feel His presence in all our action. Reflection is to make sure we do not see object, person as a, see as an object, person as a person, situation as a situation. Nalini, different facets of manifestation. Tomorrow we'll talk about Anahat Naad and Ahat Naad. There are two called in the sound which we did not say that. Anahat and Ahat. Yes, come on. That it should come like this. Then we will be able to delve more deeply. And so breathing. So again we will go back in search of Papa, prayer, dictionary, Nada Brahmam, breathing. Half an hour we spent on the glory of the divine name given out by Mahatma Ji. He said, I don't know whether you remember, that by Ram Nam we are connecting with the 5 elements. So whenever the body is subjected to some disease, we draw it from the 5 elements only. According to him, that is called Namapati. Ramnam itself is sufficient, and in his lifetime, have we ever heard he was in a hospital? Never. Even in the midst of so many activities, he was relying only on Ramnam. That we forgot to tell. Very difficult, very difficult. But here is a person who has done it and shown us. So we were elaborately reading it. Our Papa made us to read because our faith in Ramnam should become more and more firm, more and more grounded. And it is for that purpose, during the non-chanting time, we were trying to connect up his remembrance. Starting from in search of Papa up to now breathing. The rest of the thing we will take it up tomorrow. We will take it up this Anahat and Ahat also tomorrow.